Bucket of Trump.
Yeah, bucket of Trump. So now that Donald Trump has made America great again, he's going to make the world a better place, too. But is the world ready for that? Here's Trump pulling a Gordon Ramsay at the UN about to tell him that their menu sucks.
My administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
Laugh if you must, you small, meaningless bureaucrats. What have you done lately besides boozing on our dime and chasing hookers? Love it or hate it, Trump's the leader of the free world, and he's ready to give the planet a little tough love.
Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course. Moving forward, we are only going to give foreign aid to those who respect us. OPEC nations are, as usual, ripping off the rest of the world. And I don't like it. Nobody should like it.
Nobody should like it. You know, he's like the American Santa. He's telling the world who's been naughty and nice, but everybody's naughty. Everybody on his list is naughty. And he's just getting started.
I don't like what's happening in Cuba, and I certainly don't like what's happening in Venezuela. Iran's going to come back to me, and they're going to make a good deal. I think. Maybe not. Deals. You never know. Yemen's a mess. Syria's a mess. Not happy with OPEC. I like China, and I like President Xi a lot. I think he's a friend of mine. He may not be a friend of mine anymore.
He's got an opinion on everyone. To him, Earth is just another location for Celebrity Apprentice. Cuba, you're fired. And of course, there's that relationship with China. They flirt. They play hard to get. It's like a geopolitical version of Ross and Rachel from Friends.
He was saying that China has total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain.
For a minute there, you thought it wasn't going to be brain. That pause he did was amazing. And who can forget the letter, the magnificent letters?
He said this is actually a groundbreaking letter. This is an incredible, this is a historic letter. He wrote me two of the most beautiful letters. I've received two letters from Chairman Kim. They're incredible letters. They're letters that are magnificent.
That is some letter. I think what the letters was D and T. And boy, he gave it to the Kurds.
Excuse me, you said where? From where?
Rudal Media Network from Kurdistan region, north of Iraq. I'm a Kurd.
Good. Good. Sir, great people.
Thank you, sir.
Great
Mr.
people.
Mr. President,
thank you. Are you a Kurd?
Mr. President.
Good.
You a Kurd? I'm just going to ask that to everybody. And even Canada didn't get out without a kick in the cranberries.
Did you reject a one-on-one meeting with the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau?
Yeah, I did.
Why?
Because his tariffs are too high and he doesn't seem to want to move, and I've told him, forget about it.
Forget about it. It's like he's talking to his plumber. And not an actual world leader. Well, Canada. Anyway, so who's great now?
You know who's great now? We're great now.
That's right. Which is why he's now into changing the world. Like a real estate developer from Queens, he's done with one project, United States, and he's moving on to another. And get this, and this is really, really important. None of the stuff he's talking about involves military force. And shouldn't that be something that lefties embrace and love about this guy? Instead of flexing military muscle, he toys with the failing New York Times. Stand up, go ahead.
The failing New York Times, stand up, go ahead. I think ABC, CBS, NBC, the Times, they're all going to endorse me, because if they don't, they're going out of business. Can you imagine if they didn't have me?
No, we can't imagine that at all. So all in all, he realizes for America to be greater, Earth needs a little work too. And he's willing to lead the enterprise peacefully. What could be the possibilities?
Sunday, 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 get ready for the most globally electrifying event ever.
It's the Trump versus the UN World Reboot Awesomization Extravaganza.
He's made America great, and now Donald, the diplomatic mastermind Trump, is taking the battle international by improving those stupid rocks on Easter Island, turning Siberia into a meat locker for Trump steaks, adding pants to Michelangelo's David, mopping up Venice, replacing windmills in Holland with coal mines, making Big Ben a digital clock, fitting Mount Everest with an escalator, decorating the Great Wall of China with Bob Ross paintings. Plus, he's fixing the Leaning Tower of Pisa with a team of
non-union construction workers.
And don't miss the all-American finale. Will Trump finally fix the broken Liberty Bell or put a more awesome face on Mount Rushmore? Get your tickets now to find out. The first 100 guests get
The authentic column from the Parthenon, signed by Donald Trump.
It's the Trump versus the UN World Reboot Awesomization Extravaganza.
Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's so bright the North Star calls her for advice, attorney and Trump Campaign Advisory Board member Madison Gessiato. And he's so smart it hurts. Washington Times opinion editor and Fox News contributor Charlie Hertz. She's so bright she moonlights as Moonlight. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. And his neighbors all have earthquake insurance. Former WWE superstar, my massive sidekick, Tyrus. Charles, it's so interesting when there are people talking about that press conference and they act like it's some kind of weird freak show. And I'm looking at it and I'm watching a guy with an incredibly nimble mind bounce all over every single issue. And talk about fixing them as though it's a construction project.
Yeah. And it's not only that, but also, I mean, the guy's comedic timing is just, it's killer. Yeah. And when he did the thing about talking about how great the administration is and everybody laughed. Yeah. And in this room, everybody laughed. Yeah. They laughed at the exact right times. The guy totally gets it. Yeah, and it's that humor and of course all these despots in the world and in the room who got it, just proving that of course the press has less of a sense of humor than despots around the world. But the other thing is that basically the attack on Donald Trump right now is that he's not perfect. That's what upsets them. So when he goes and he talks and he meets with Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-il, the complaint is, oh, well, you haven't gotten peace fast enough. It's not, absolutely the guy can't win. Yeah. And they constantly, and they did this throughout the campaign, and they're continuing to do it. They constantly move the goalposts with it.
You know what, Charlie brings up a good point, which is rare, Madison. The media is wrong about Trump in the fact, because they think that the world finds him comical or weird. But I have a theory that a lot of the world isn't like Manhattan. The world is pretty old school alpha. They're like 30 years, 40 years back when the world leaders were like Trump. So he's kind of entertaining and refreshing or something. That's my theory. Feel free to ignore it and answer the own question that might be in your mind.
I mean, I think he was very funny at his press conference. I think he's hilarious a lot of the times, but I think he's very successful, and that's the thing that the media fails to report on. Yeah. You know, look at everything that he did throughout the UN this week. It was an extremely successful week. They signed a revised trade agreement with South Korea, open trade talks with Japan, of course going after China, who no president before in 25 years has really gone after for their unfair trade practices. They said, you know, he could never have peace in certain areas. Guess what? Look what he's doing with North Korea. It's only the beginning there. And so I think people are just ignoring the fact that he's been extremely successful. They're judging him on words instead of actions and results.
Okay, Kat, he's not a neocon. This has got, I mean, like, let's face it, he's changing the world without bombs. And that, I mean, that's kind of what I would call progress, maybe?
That's one of the things that I do like about him is that he tends to want to use diplomacy and talking and making deals rather than just going to war with everyone.
Yeah.
And I thought that that was something that was very interesting in the general election when he was running against Hillary Clinton. Even though she was a Democrat, she was a neo-Democrat.
Yes.
So she certainly would have gone I think we would be at war right now in places that we're not at war if we had had Hillary Clinton as president instead of Donald
Trump. Probably with Canada.
We might be at war with Canada.
Yeah. Australia.
And think about what is the one time the establishment applauded Donald Trump? It's when he bombed Syria. It's the only time.
Yeah, exactly. They love a good bomb.
I did not care for that.
You did not care for that?
I did not care for that.
Kat, anything else? Any thoughts?
I mean, I want to talk about Ross and Rachel again.
Okay, go ahead.
I just don't think it should have taken that long for them to work it out.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost getting a smattering of applause.
They were on a break.
Tyrus.
I look at when he speaks to the world and when he gives his speeches, a lot like someone who just beat the rap on a case and everyone who testified against him is at the barbecue and he just showed up.
Yeah.
They're all, he knows every one of them. I know what every one of you did, but I'm here. And so the laughing is a lot of nervous laughing.
Yeah. That's true.
He's coming from a place of power, and I think he's probably one of the, I can't remember a president who chose to use it. Listen to me when I speak.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're going to wish you had. It's very underlying. He kind of talks them away, very similar like when somebody borrows money from me and they don't pay it back.
Yeah.
He appeals to your senses. Like, say, for example, Joe, you like walking. Joe will say, yes, I do. Well, for you to continue to do so, you need to pay me the money I lent you plus 10%. That is how he talks to the world, and I think they get it. Joe got it.
Yeah, Joe got it. Is he walking?
Joe?
Yeah.
He will be fine.
He's healing nicely in an undisclosed location.